Chris, thanks again for spending some time. And let's just start off talking about well-inspired travels. Tell us where the idea came for this.
My wife, it's been brewing in her head for a long time. Something that, since she was a little girl traveling with her parents and her family and her father, who when my wife was 6 years old was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer and really went through some serious health issues and was given a 10% chance to live. He wanted to travel the world with his family while he could. She got to see her father go away on these trips and be excited to be with the family and the healing aspects of going away and the joy that it brought him. And then coming home off of that first trip, just getting pounded with chemo and radiation and everything. And all the while still planning that second trip. The second trip, they go over to Asia, where he's learning more about the mind, body, spirit, the holistic healing methods that they have in the East. I think doing some fairly radical treatments while he was over there. And, lo and behold, as each successive trip, you would see him, getting more and more excited, not only to plan the trips, but to bring his family to new and exciting cultures and places around the world. And she really got to see her dad in a great place when he was traveling. And her family and got to see a lot of the world. And so that always left the healing properties of travel always left something inside of her. So then once we met, we traveled a lot and as my career went along with all my injuries and everything that I went through the course of my career, I used to source properties with her and trying to find places where we could travel to while allowing me to still work out. The health and fitness industry was just kind of in its infancy at that time, and in hotels having the types of resources to build out the fitness centers and the spas to really kind of dig into what people were looking for. So we really had to research a lot of these places on our own and find them and source them through word of mouth or friends in the industry, things of that nature. So we made a lot of connections that way. As my career went along and more injuries and things like that happened, we would go on these trips. And the infancy of social media and Instagram, my wife had a little private account that we shared with some friends and athletes and people that like keeping up with us and our travels and things like that. And she would get a lot of requests from friends on there that, where were you? We really loved seeing what you were doing, where you were at, how did you source that? How did you do this? A lot of questions because people didn't really know who to trust or who to go to. So they would go to her and she would help them connect with the right people and set up the right trip. As we know, things happen in threes. Her father had a stroke and his right side was paralyzed. Mother got breast cancer, and then I got my eye injury and concussion and things came to a head there. So she was really put in this place where 3 young kids at home trying to figure out all of the stress and pressures from the health issues that everybody in her life was dealing with and the pressure that was creating on her. And she really looked introspectively at that mind, body, spirit of how she can better herself and take care of her family in a more natural way. And she really started reading a lot of books and doing a lot of research on what I was dealing with, what her mother was dealing with, what her father was dealing with. Ultimately, I'm forced to retire. We come back to St. Louis, see her father for the last month of his life. He passes away, and now, we're here with her mother. But, it really got her mind going about the healing properties of travel. And then obviously I started trying to get healthy and doing all the rehab and things for my eye, my head, and got to see the healing properties of travel and what it did for me and for my outlook and my mindset. It's been a blessing and something that we're very, very passionate about and how, we certainly feel that travel can bring so many different benefits on that health and wellness side and the mind, body, spirit, but also, taking something away. So often, I think in today's generation, it's not just about, I just want to go to a beach and sit there. I think people are more, because of social media, because of the internet, because of access to knowing more about the world, they really want to get something out of it. You're spending a lot of money on these trips. You want to create great memories and have the ability to learn about a new culture and be more worldly and things of that nature. So it's been super exciting to kind of get to this point. She started it and kind of brought me on board. And, I've always enjoyed travel, as I said, but once I kind of saw the vision that she had and the passion that she had for it, I really got into it. And this is something that we're both extremely passionate about and excited about in the future.
As a relatively new business, one of the things that any business has to do when you're in a space with competitors is how do you distinguish yourselves from others? So how would you characterize how you guys want to distinguish yourselves from all the other companies that are out there?
Yeah, I think the unique thing about our business and about our company is that it's a boutique luxury travel company that caters to elite athletes and C-level executives that feel the same pressures and the same time constraints as elite athletes. And, I think having been one, I understand the pressures and the demands on your time, what the fame and fortune can do to life and the family pressures and stresses that happen because of that. Whether you want to get away with your wife and reconnect, whether you want to get away with your kids and be able to really understand what's going on in their lives. And I think it's a way for everybody to reconnect and understand that side of things. And for us, it's been fantastic for our family and what we've been able to do. And certainly with where we've brought other people to get in touch with their families and really reconnect, because during the course of a season, there's so much that demands on an athlete's time, on an executive's time while they're working. That's their focus, their mindset, to be the best at whatever it is you're doing, whether it's you're playing a sport or running a business. The demands and the pressures are extreme, and you have to be focused and single-minded in what you're trying to accomplish and achieve. And a lot of times, unfortunately, your wife, your family, your loved ones, they come second. And travel has been a great outlet and resource for those to really re-engage while still being able to train properly and be in that space to feel comfortable enough to relax, yet train and prepare for the upcoming season, rehab an injury, whatever the case may be. But I think the biggest point for us that would be the selling point is the mentorship side. Having gone through virtually everything that any athlete can present to us, I know exactly what they're feeling, what they're going through, how I dealt with it, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And then on the family side, Lauren's been there right alongside me, dealing with the same things and understanding the family dynamic and how it affects the kids and how it affects the family unit. And so that mentorship side, as you really dig in deep and start talking to families about their goals and dreams and bucket list trips and what they want to see and what they want to do and what they want to get out of their travels, you really get to know someone and really know what they're all about. And then that presents the mentorship side where they start feeling comfortable with you. You learn an awful lot about them. And then you're able to really help guide as they feel more comfortable asking you questions. You can help guide them and say, here's what I did. Here's what I learned through that process. That focus was always something big when I played, in understanding somebody right next to you is either getting better or getting worse, and how bad do you want it? And there's so many different parallels, obviously amongst the sports, but also in the business world. So as I look through the marketplace, I don't really see somebody at my level in my sport doing this. And I think it's something that the marketplace needed. and something a lot of these athletes need as well.
We've obviously going through unprecedented times, Chris, with the coronavirus, and I imagine this has really shaken up the travel industry in a big way. So what things can you folks do to try to help allay concerns or help potential customers kind of navigate these uncharted waters?
Well, I think, as we know, information is the most critical resource for us, and being up to speed and up to date on what the hoteliers are doing, what the DMCs are doing, what the different countries are doing, what the status is of travel as a whole. The nice thing is our Rolodex and the company that we're affiliated with, the top dog, so to speak. So we've got a great group of people underneath us supporting us. Information, I think, is critical, and being upfront and forward thinking, getting out in front of certain things, whether it be that bucket list trip and I only want to stay at X place. This resort is for me. Limited keys. It's so boutique that you got to book it 2 years out, and you start mapping out certain things, and you obviously track all this. You're speaking with the general manager of these places. You're speaking with sometimes the heads of these large hotel companies and owners of these boutique properties, and you create these relationships where you're getting information and understanding. You're constantly talking with people, and the hospitality industry as a whole, I've got to say, has been a breath of fresh air. The people are wonderful. They're there to help one another and willing to answer questions, help you out. Everybody kind of pushes business all over the place to really kind of help one another out. And if you can't do something for somebody, somebody that can. And hey, our hotel's booked, but I know this hotel has some rooms still available. They're willing to help one another out. And there's all kinds of stories like that I could tell you, but it's been great to work with a lot of the people, and certainly excited to get to know a lot more of them, because some tremendous people in this industry.
Any surprises from a business perspective, something that you didn't anticipate when you first got into this, that whether it was a pleasant surprise or whether it was maybe something jarring?
No, I knew a lot. I had some friends in the hospitality industry, in the travel industry. So I had been to a few trade shows with him and hung out with a lot of the different hoteliers and different places around the world, and got to know them and know what kind of people they are and how great they are. So I don't think that really surprised me that much, but I think just the size and the depth and the scope of the hospitality industry and the travel industry as a whole, it is a huge part of the global economy. And it's, I think, as we were talking about with the coronavirus, it's taken a steep toll on a lot of people in our industry and travel as a whole. So I'm interested to see how the U.S., but the world economy and a lot of the countries around the globe are A, helping out, but B, managing through this crisis and trying to figure out the best way to support people.
If you're selling a new client, a new customer on why work with your practice, your services, what are the 2 or 3 things you would sell them on?
We are a boutique, as low stress for you, the consumer, as possible. And everything that we do is of the highest quality. You get what you pay for. And certainly, I think when you look at our core values of our company and what we want to be about, privacy and discretion are of utmost importance, obviously for athletes and business executives. And I know I was, as an athlete, I was very private. I didn't want people knowing my business and where I was going and what I was doing. So first and foremost, when we were building out the business, that needed to be front and center. And that's usually one of the first things I tell people. We have plenty of clients that know each other that have no idea that we work with both parties. And that's the way we want to keep it. We're exclusive, yet reachable, readily available at all times. We want to make sure that the stresses of life and the stresses of your business or whatever field you're in sports, That's the least of your concerns, is where you're going, what's your flight, what's your hotel, going through all the different things, that the checklist of the itinerary and the checklist of certain things, that's all mapped out for you, soup to nuts. It's turnkey. You show up and all the stress should be taken care of, and you get to enjoy and take the bucket list trip you've always wanted. The experiential trips that we can put together are second to none, and certainly something that we look forward to creating and forming those relationships where people feel comfortable talking to us about life, about our experiences, about what's going on in theirs, because that allows us to do our jobs better. The more we know, the more we understand their mindset and kind of what's going on in their world, we can better cater their travel and their trips to what they're experiencing and kind of what's going on in their family dynamic and what's going on potentially in the future. Whether it's an athlete coming up on that final year of his contract and wanting to decompress, I'm going to have the ability to understand the CBA, the drug policies, all the different things that the layperson who potentially might be doing this has no idea about and may not even think about. There's all kinds of different things, and really focusing on that mind, body, spirit, the health and wellness aspect. Ultimately, that's our niche, aside from the athlete portion, but we do everything, but we really focus in on mind, body, spirit, and that health and wellness aspect of travel and what it can do for you. You know, it's something that as we said, we're both passionate about, and those that work with us are unbelievably passionate about travel and what it can do for you and the healing aspects of it. We've partnered with the largest travel company in the world. You know, we got our bios of myself and my wife, and you know, here's our core values of, you know, obviously integrity, communication, service, well-being, hallmarks of what our company's about from a partnership perspective, and then obviously from a connection perspective, and who we know and who we're able to speak to on a daily basis of calling up the GM of X hotel, putting together unique itineraries like a shopping spree in Paris, or meeting a famous chef at a local market in Marrakesh. The world is your oyster. We can think of all kinds of different and unique things for you to do, you know, and that's why having those relationships and being able to speak to somebody on a different level like we can opens that up for really digging deep into what you're looking for and what you're trying to do. You know, another part of our business is giving back to philanthropic endeavors, and this is one of them, World Pediatric Project. It's very near and dear to us, and something that we're passionate about. We're on the board of, and it's a great organization. We have a fee structure. You know, it takes a lot of time and effort to put together the trips that we do. This is really just a way for us to kind of get something up front so that we can put together the trip of a lifetime. And just an FYI, you can't VIP yourself. That's what we're here for. So we're certainly excited about the prospects of our business. We're excited about travel getting back to where it was and where it can be. It was a growing business, and I know it will again soon one day. It's just a matter of getting through and over top of a few of these hurdles that we've encountered over the last 3 or 4 months. And you know, it's we're excited. We're invested in this company and in this for the long haul. So you know, this is just the beginning steps for us, and as we continue to move along and grow our business, you know, we want to do it organically and the right way, so that we are able to fully service and properly service our clients.